Sheryl Swoopes just can't stop. She can't not try to light a fire involving Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is under attack once again, but this time it's not just words. It's a full-scale campaign by Sheryl Swoopes herself, and the gloves are off. After getting fired from her WNBA commentary job for her repeated shots at Clark, Swoopes just escalated things in a way no one expected. Instead of offering an apology or moving on, she stormed onto Gilbert Arenas' podcast, proudly flashing a Paige Bueckers t-shirt, a move so petty, so calculated, it sent shockwaves across the basketball world. On the surface, it looked like support for another rising star.
WNBA Hall of Famer Sheryl Swoopes is no stranger to speaking her mind, but her latest appearance on Gilbert Arenas' Gil's Arena show has stirred up another round of controversy, this time for not her words, but her wardrobe.
But dig just a little deeper, and it becomes crystal clear. This was not about lifting Paige up, it was about tearing Caitlin down. The timing, the smirks, the history. It all points to one thing: jealousy disguised as mentorship.
Sheryl Swoopes, this is kind of what you get for kind of not jumping on the tide, jumping on the rope, jumping on the boat. You were supposed to go and elevate with this whole situation. Your broadcasting career, everything, Sheryl. Your podcasting, whatever you do, you're supposed to be elevating. But instead, you decided to show hate, very clear hate towards Caitlin Clark.
Therefore, today, we're pulling back the curtain on the real story behind Swoopes' ongoing obsession with Caitlin Clark. A story filled with bitterness, fear, and a desperate struggle to stay relevant in a league Caitlin is already reshaping forever. What you are about to see will change the way you view the WNBA's old guard forever.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Clark, guard for the Indiana Fever.
Gets bumped, will take, and hit from three.
At first glance, it might seem strange. Why would a legend like Sheryl Swoopes, a pioneer of women's basketball, be taking shots at Caitlin Clark, a player who has only just begun her WNBA journey? But when you look closer, the pattern is impossible to ignore. Swoopes' attacks on Clark didn't start after Clark's professional debut. They started long before that, back during Caitlin's record-breaking college career, when she was already smashing viewership records and packing arenas in ways the women's game had never seen before. Swoopes watched as Clark broke barriers she once dreamed of. She watched as Clark scored from the logo, shattered scoring records, and brought millions of new fans to the game. And instead of celebrating the sport's evolution, Swoopes saw her own legacy start to dim by comparison. Therefore, she made a choice. Instead of uplifting the next generation, she decided to challenge it. She threw subtle jabs, questioning Clark's toughness, her accolades, even her place in the history books. At one point, she even dismissed Caitlin's NCAA scoring records, arguing they weren't legitimate because they came in a different era.
When everybody else, they're quick to throw stats, right? It's like, oh, well, this is what she did. Like somebody's like, oh, Sheryl Swoopes only scored 34 points in the WNBA. Caitlin scored 35. So you can't use stats when it benefits you.
But it didn't stop there. When Clark entered the WNBA, the jealousy turned into open hostility. Swoopes criticized everything, from Caitlin's playing style to the attention she was receiving.
The statement was, I don't think either of them are going to come into the league and dominate immediately, meaning what they did in college.
Over all of the players in the W.
And the reason why I said it is because you have a player like an Asia Wilson.
When networks began pulling Swoopes off commentary duties because of her anti-Clark rants, it wasn't hard to see the writing on the wall.
I won't be missing you broadcasting the games because when you broadcasted the games, it was so hard for you to mention Caitlin Clark. How are you up there talking about, you kept mentioning, oh, the Indiana Fever are doing this. Oh, Kelsey Mitchell and the Indiana Fever. Oh, Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell and those girls are doing. Oh, you had such the hardest time mentioning Caitlin Clark's name. Why? I don't get it. I really don't know.
Swoopes was no longer offering critical analysis.
She can't not try to light a fire involving Caitlin Clark. She can't just be good. She made some comments, a month ago on video where she was clearly trying to kiss up to the Caitlin Clark situation. I think we're finding out why now, because we found out yesterday it looks like she's been removed from a podcast which had WNBA branding on it. We saw her get replaced during the Fever game for the Dallas Wings commentary team last year because of words and the hate she had towards Caitlin Clark. And it was just one thing after another.
She was waging a personal campaign, a campaign built on fear that her time in the spotlight was being eclipsed. And here's the truth. Caitlin Clark never asked for any of this. She didn't go around demanding attention. She didn't trash talk the veterans who paved the way. She let her game do the talking, setting rookie records, filling arenas, and delivering historic performances night after night.
Numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And that's what that said. She's Neo, right? Like, they were in the Matrix messing with the machines and stuff before he got there, but they needed the one. And the one showed up, and then it took it to a whole nother level. That's what she is. Yeah. They've been looking for her, and she could bend the spoon. She figured it out. You need a star to break through. Yeah. So I hear what he's saying, because there is some hate. There is some, I don't want to call it jealousy, because that's such an aggressive word, but there is some feeling of, we were here, we were working on this, we've been grinding, we've been playing, we've been hooping, we've been putting out a great product, we just weren't being paid attention to.
But for players like Swoopes, that's exactly the problem. Clark is winning without playing by the old rules. She's succeeding without bowing to the legacy gatekeepers who expect deference first and greatness second. Therefore, every time Caitlin shines, it exposes an uncomfortable reality for players like Swoopes, that true greatness doesn't need permission. It only needs opportunity. And that brings us to the moment that broke the internet, the Paige Bueckers t-shirt. Swoopes didn't say a word, she didn't need to. She let the shirt, and all the history behind it, speak volumes.
Well, she's doing it again. She's trolling Caitlin Clark again, this time by celebrating the arrival of Paige Bueckers. Now, I've got a theory. Oh, look at me. I'm not really racist because I'm wearing the white girl's shirt. You see that?
But what she didn't realize was that the fans were watching. And this time, they weren't buying the act.
A recent episode of the show, Swoopes was seen sporting a Paige Bueckers, the UConn star and #1 overall pick, t-shirt. While some might have viewed it as a show of support for one of the league's newest faces, Caitlin Clark fans were not buying it. Clark's devoted following, already sensitive to what they see as a pattern of dismissiveness from Swoopes, it's straight up hateration.
On the surface, Sheryl Swoopes walking into a podcast wearing a Paige Bueckers t-shirt could have seemed innocent, maybe even supportive. But for those paying attention, it was anything but innocent. It was a message loud and clear. I'll support the new face of basketball, as long as it's not Caitlin Clark.
Interpreted the Bueckers shirt as another dig at the Indiana Fever rookie, the backlash came quickly and loudly on social media, where fans didn't hold back, and they did not.
The timing could not have been more obvious. Just days after more of Swoopes' anti-Clark commentary had resurfaced, she needed to do damage control. But instead of offering an apology or even softening her tone, she chose a different strategy, weaponizing support for another rising star to continue her attack. Therefore, she used Paige Bueckers, another phenomenal player, as a pawn in a much bigger game. And the truth is, Paige deserves better than that. Paige Bueckers is a generational talent in her own right. She battled injuries, fought her way back to dominance, and captured the hearts of millions. She is not the anti-Caitlin. She is not a political symbol to be paraded around every time someone wants to take a swing at Clark without doing it directly. But Swoopes didn't care about that. This wasn't about lifting Paige up. It was about taking Caitlin down without having to say her name. By wearing that shirt, Swoopes tried to send a coded message to the old guard of the WNBA. See, I'm not against young stars. I am just against that young star.
This is the epitome of trolls. She is now using Bueckers to push a different narrative than what she did with Clark. A troll is gonna troll.
It was subtle. It was calculated. And it was pathetic, because fans are not stupid. They can spot fake support from a mile away. They can tell the difference between celebrating a player's achievements and using a player as a prop to continue a vendetta. But there's an even deeper layer to this. Swoopes' move also highlighted the ongoing divide inside the WNBA, a divide between the traditionalists who want players to be loud, political, and activist-driven, and players like Caitlin Clark who just want to hoop.
I think one of the main things in this whole thing is when you feel like you're not getting the respect.
Yeah.
And I think when you feel like you're not getting the respect, that's when you tend to say comments that come off as hate, right? And that's what a lot of these women are doing, is they feel like what we have done for this game, this young player has come into our game and she's getting way more respect and all that stuff than we are. As she should. The young girl is a baller. The young girl has people watching because of the way she can shoot this basketball like Steph Curry.
Paige Bueckers fits into the activist mold more comfortably. She speaks out on causes, embraces the narratives many WNBA insiders align with, and follows the playbook the league has come to expect.
I never get why Bueckers is accepted, but Cece was made out to be a racist. I just told you why. She's a member of that club, all right? So, of course, they just put that arm around her. You get it.
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, doesn't chase political headlines. She doesn't align herself with ideological battles. She focuses on the game, her game, and lets her performance speak.
Marketing, and we cannot deny what Caitlin Clark has done for the women's game. I'm not going to act like it's something that we don't see. She's had a huge effect, called the Caitlin Clark effect. Yes, have we ever had teams have to get into larger arenas to play against a team? No, we have not. So if we have more eyeballs on the game and Caitlin Clark brings that, why would we feel some kind of way because she has more television games? I think we have to understand that when one player eats, we all eat. And as we all get more opportunities, it just opens it up for everyone else. And I think Caitlin has said that even herself in certain interviews. And I love that. I love that she's not the player who's like, it's all about her. It's not. She's giving love and homage to those of us that have come before her. She shares the wealth with her teammates, and she doesn't have to do that. So I just don't, again, I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game just as a lot of other players have. But it is what it is.
Therefore, for players like Swoopes, that makes Caitlin an even bigger threat because Clark is changing the model of what a superstar looks like. She is proving that you do not have to follow the unwritten rules to become the face of a league. And that terrifies the establishment. So Swoopes can wear all the t-shirts she wants. She can smile smugly on podcasts and pretend it is about supporting young women. But fans see it for what it is. An old legend trying desperately to cling to relevance in a new era she no longer controls. The t-shirt wasn't a show of support. It was a white flag disguised as a fashion statement. And Caitlin Clark didn't even have to say a word in response, because when you are winning this big, your game speaks for itself. At the end of the day, this isn't about t-shirts. It's not even about Sheryl Swoopes. It's about something much bigger. It's about what happens when someone comes along who is too good to ignore and refuses to play by the old rules. Caitlin Clark's rise is not a fluke. It's not a media creation. It's the result of relentless excellence, undeniable talent, and a work ethic that leaves no room for shortcuts. She shattered viewership records.
Points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history. First triple-double in Fever history. The first player to be named WNBA Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same month. First player in WNBA history with 20 or more points, 15 or more assists, and 5 or more rebounds in a game. She won Rookie of the Month 4 times. Eastern Conference Player of the Week 3 times, single season rookie record for assists, single season rookie record for 3-pointers, single game record for assists 19, franchise record for most double-doubles, 3-pointers, career 10 or more assists in a game, franchise record for most career 10 or more assists in a game. Fastest WNBA player to reach 100 3-pointers, she did it in 34 games, most assists by a rookie in a WNBA All-Star game for which she received the most fan votes ever, 700,000 of those. Fastest player to reach 350 points and 150 assists to start a season regardless of years in the league. People will say, pay more attention to the other folks. Like, she couldn't do it herself. You know, LeBron has teammates, Jordan had teammates. I understand.
She filled arenas. She outsold entire teams in jersey sales. She took a league that was growing slowly and lit it on fire. And she did it without bending the knee to the political narratives, social agendas, or gatekeeper approval that once decided who would be allowed to succeed.
There's a very thin line between hate and facts. And what I believe to be the case is that there was incremental growth in the WNBA comparatively to the exponential growth we are seeing now. What I'm about to tell y'all, I haven't heard before, so I doubt you have either. Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means is if the WNBA were to continue to grow at the rate it grew from 22 to 23, it would take until 2028 to do what Caitlin Clark did this year. Okay, now let's not talk viewership, let's talk ticket sales. Bear with me. Ticket sales grew in 2023 by 16% from 2022. Ticket sales have grown by 93% in 2024. What that means is without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA would have taken till 2029 or 2030 to get to where Caitlin Clark has gotten them today.
Therefore, every bitter comment, every silent protest, every passive-aggressive stunt thrown her way, it all backfires because it only proves how much power Caitlin Clark now holds. The WNBA needed a star who could break through to the mainstream. They got one, but they did not expect that star to write her own story. And while Sheryl Swoopes clings to the past, Caitlin Clark is building the future. Every triple-double, every record-breaking night, every new fan tuning in because they heard about that girl who shoots like Steph Curry.
They enjoy watching her play, her style, her energy, her shot. Whether it's because her game mirrors one of the greatest players in the NBA in Steph Curry or not, I don't know what it is. It's an intangible thing, right? Yes, we can say she's a dog. Okay, there's been other dogs. Okay, she's a great shooter. There's been other great shooters. She has it. She's got the thing.
And for Caitlin Clark to have the awareness to drive the eyeballs there, you have to give her so much credit.
And she's getting way more respect and all that stuff than we are. As she should. The young girl is a baller. The young girl has people watching because of the way she can shoot this basketball like Steph Curry. Steph Curry can't dunk. Steph Curry don't do none of that in the game. He can probably dunk by himself, but he don't really do none of that in the game. He is a shooter, and fans tune in to see Steph Curry. When I look at Caitlin Clark, fans are tuning in to watch her. And you know who that's helping? Everybody else. It's helping the Asia Wilsons. It's helping everybody else, the Plums, all that.
It is all adding up. Caitlin Clark is not the WNBA's problem. She is its greatest solution. The proof is already here. Most points scored by a rookie point guard in history. First rookie to record multiple triple-doubles in one season. Highest single-game assist total for a rookie in WNBA history. Fastest player to 100 three-pointers. Highest all-star fan vote in WNBA history. No narrative can erase those numbers. No bitterness can overshadow that impact. And while the old guard plays politics, Caitlin is playing basketball at a level most of them never reached. Therefore, the WNBA is at a crossroads. It can cling to the past, or it can embrace the unstoppable force that is already transforming its future. Because one thing is clear, the fans have made their choice. And that choice is Caitlin Clark.
Regular season viewership, it grew by 20% in 2023. It's grown by 180% now, which means it would take another 5 or 6 years to do what Caitlin Clark has done. So between draft day viewership, which is up 400% to 40%, between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%, between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%, what Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days what would have taken 5 years. So yes, the WNBA was growing before Caitlin Clark. Make that abundantly clear. But it was growing incrementally compared to the exponential growth you're seeing now.
The old playbook is dead. The new era has arrived. And no t-shirt, no backhanded comment, no desperate swipe can stop what is already in motion. As Caitlin Clark continues to break records, inspire new fans, and redefine what is possible in women's basketball, the haters will grow louder. The attacks will get pettier, the jealousy will get uglier, but it won't matter. Because while they are busy plotting their next move, Caitlin Clark is already 3 steps ahead, making history, winning games, and carrying the future of the WNBA on her shoulders without breaking a sweat. And that, more than anything, is what truly terrifies the old guard. Not that Caitlin Clark might fail, but that she is already succeeding without them. And she is just getting started.